Welcome students. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is financial planning. In financial planning, what is this financial planning and what are the different concepts you are going to learn in the financial planning? So financial planning is nothing but the income that the person gets, what is the amount he is spending for his various needs, and what is the savings that he gets, and what is the investment, different types of investment he does. So all these things put together, and the study of it is called as financial planning. So the first is, what is the income that the person gets? Income can be of any type. It can be from the salary that the person gets, or from the business, the income that he gets. Anything can be considered as the income. So out of this income, what all things he uses, how much of amount he uses for his daily expense, for his daily necessities, what is the expense he has. After deducting the expense from the income, the amount that is remaining with him, you call it as the savings. Now this savings, the person doesn't keep the savings by him to himself, because he doesn't get anything out of the savings that he keeps for himself. So this savings, what he does is he invests in different the savings in different ways. That is, it can be in the form of he can put it in the bank, he can put it in the post office, he can invest it in different insurance policies, or you got mutual funds, you got the shares. So different ways he can invest it. So when he invests this amount in different ways, he can get an extra profit rather than keeping the savings by himself. So all this you will be dealing with in the financial planning. So financial planning, so they given a definition there. Every investor, on page number 93 it is given. So he meets his primary necessities and saves a remaining amount, and that remaining amount he considers in investing in different types of projects he tries to invest it, and that is called as the financial planning. So now here, why you need this financial planning, why you need this savings? So in any person's life, there are predictable expenses and unpredictable expenses, which is given on page number 93. Predictable expenses are, you know that this expense is going to take place in your life. That is, for example, the education of the children, buying a vehicle, buying a property. All these are the predictable expenses. Now what are these unpredictable expenses? Natural disaster, an accident, then a sudden death, or the person having a medical issue, he needs a certain amount. So all these are the unpredictable expenses. So for all this, the person needs a certain income. So that income, the person, after his basic necessities, after he uses the amount for his basic necessities, the remaining amount you call it as a savings. So those savings, the person starts to invest in different projects. That is again given on page number 93 in the form of a tree. So they given the three different branches are given, where the first branch is shown as the post office, second as the private sector, and the third as the bank. So the person can invest the amount either in the post office, or he can invest it in the bank, or he can invest in any private sector. So most of the people try to invest, or feel it safe to invest either in the post office or in the bank, because they are assured of the money that they put it in the bank or the post office. But whereas in the private sector, this private sector invests this amount in different companies, industries, and different projects. Suppose if the industry or the company undergoes a loss, the person also undergoes that much percentage of loss. So many people try to people who are ready to take the risk and invest will do it in the private sectors, but the other person play it safe by putting either in the bank or in the post office. So now based on this, you have got problems from practice set 6.1. That is, what is the person's investment, what is the savings, what is the expense. So all this you will be calculating in practice set 6.1. Set 6.1, the first problem. So you need to understand the statement, and all these are like word problems where you have to write down what is given and what you are going to find out. So the first problem states that Alka spends 90% of the money that she receives every month. So every month she is receiving a certain amount, and from that she is spending 90% of it, and saves rupees 120 rupees, and every month she is saving that rupees 120. So how much money does she get monthly? So you do not know what is the monthly amount, so you have to take that monthly amount as X. So you are going to write, let the total amount can write it as monthly amount. Let the total monthly amount be equal to X. Now from that, what is given is Alka spends 90%, that is her expenditure. So Alka's expenditure or expense is equal to 90%. So this is given. Then this is the amount, total monthly amount, and this is the expense. It is given in terms of percentage. If expense is given, then you can find out what is the savings. So savings will be equal to, since this is given in terms of percentage, you can subtract 100 minus 90, which is equal to 10%. So out of 100, she is saving, her expenditure is 90%. So therefore, her savings will be equal to 10% of the total amount. But what is given? But they are given that she saves rupees 120. But it is given in the problem that she is saving 120 rupees every month. So this is in terms of percentage, and what amount she is saving every month, that is given, that is rupees 120. So now you have to find out what is the amount that she gets every month. So she is saving 120 rupees in terms of rupees, and she is saving 10% of the total income. So what you get here is 10% of her income is equal to 120 rupees. So you get 10 upon 100. Her income you are taking it as X, so which is equal to 120. So now from this you need to find out what is the value of X. Cross multiply, you get rupees 1200. So this completes the problem. Therefore, her monthly income is equal to rupees 1200. So here what is given is monthly income, you are going to consider it as X. Expense are given as 90%, so savings will be 100 minus 90, which is 10%. But they are given what is her savings in the month in terms of rupees, which is equal to rupees 120. So 10% of her income she is saving, and that is equal to 120 rupees. So simplifying this, you get 10 upon 100 into X is equal to 120. Cancelling 0 and cross multiplying, you get X is equal to rupees 1200. So that is nothing but a total monthly income. So our monthly income will be equal to rupees 1200. Now the second problem, Sumit borrowed a capital of rupees 50,000 to start his food products. So he is borrowed a capital of rupees 50,000 to start some business. In the first year he suffered a loss of 20%. He invested the remaining capital in the new sweet business and made a profit of 5%. How much was his profit or loss computed on his original capital? So what on the original capital, how much of a profit or loss he has got, that you have to calculate it. So here, so what is given is the capital, initial capital is given. So total capital or initial capital also you can take is equal to rupees 50,000 is given. What they have told, in the first year he suffered a loss of 20%. So loss is 20%. Therefore, calculate how much is the loss in terms of rupees, which is 20% of his income, which is 50,000. So you get 1, 2, 3. So you get loss is equal to rupees 10,000. Now what you have to do is, if you have incurred a loss of rupees 10,000, you have to find out what will be the capital that is remaining with him. So you have to write remaining capital. Capital will be equal to 50,000 minus 10,000, which is equal to rupees 40,000. So this is the remaining capital since he has incurred a loss. Now this capital, remaining capital, again he is investing in a new sweet business. So, and is getting a profit of rupees 5%. So for this investment, profit is equal to 5%. So therefore, profit, find it out in terms of rupees, which is 5 upon 100 into 40,000. So you get rupees, profit is equal to rupees 2,000. So this is the profit that he has got. Now what is the total capital that he has got when he has got the profit? Total capital that he has now with him. After he has invested, he has got this much of profit. Now the total capital will be equal to 40,000 plus 2,000, which is equal to 42,000. So now the capital that he has got is rupees 42,000. So initially he had started with 50,000. Now he has got a capital of rupees 42,000 with him. Now what you have to do is, you have to find out whether he has got loss or profit, whether he has incurred a loss or a profit. Initial capital was 50,000. Now he has got a capital of rupees 42,000. So he has incurred a loss because it is less than the initial capital. So therefore, loss is equal to 50,000 minus 42,000, which is equal to 8,000. So the loss is equal to rupees 8,000. Now you have to find out what is the, how much of profit or loss is computed on the original capital. You have to find out what is the percentage of loss. So loss percent is equal to loss upon the initial capital, that is 50,000, into 100. So you have to convert this loss in terms of percentage. So loss percent will be equal to, what is the loss upon the initial, what is the initial capital that he has got, into 100. 1 0 gets cancelled, 5 1s are 5 2s are, so 8 into 2 is 16%. So the loss percent that he has got is equal to 16%. Therefore write the final statement. Therefore Sumit incurred 16% loss on the original. What is asked in the problem, the final statement, that you have to just write it down. On the original capital. So like this you have to first find out, step by step you do what is asked in the problem and find out what is the final statement, write it what is given in the problem.